Hello there. Well, it's been rather unsettled recently. Now, will the rain continue? You'll have to stay tuned to the end of the video to find out. But now, first, let's have a look at the soil moisture index across the UK for September. So this was up to the 20th of September. Those dark red, those peachy colours across the map, showing a very low soil moisture index for many places across the country until the 20th of September. However, when you add the next 10 days on, go towards the end of September, you can see how that changes. So we've now got blue colours, lilacs across the map, showing a much higher soil moisture index. And that really highlights how much rain we had in the end of September, really improving those soil moisture content for most places, though some parts of eastern England, southeastern England, still staying in those peachy colours, meaning that soil moisture index not fully improved yet. However, that might be all change. Recently, we've had quite a lot of wet weather in eastern parts. On Sunday, we saw quite a lot of flooding across the region, with images like this being taken later on in the week. So you can see the water standing in the field there. I'm sure that will have improved the soil moisture index for those places. And let's have a look at what happened on Sunday, really. So this is the radar animation, and you can see we've got a front across the UK, and as that moved eastwards across the country, a low pressure system sort of developed on that front and lingered over southeastern parts of the country for much of the day. So you can see that rain stalled across those parts for a very long time. So rain was quite persistent and quite heavy, bringing some quite large totals, and therefore the reasons that we saw quite a bit of flooding around in eastern parts on Sunday. You can see the rainfall accumulations here. Most of that rain falling in the sort of eastern parts of Norfolk and Suffolk, with totals up to 68 millimetres recorded in official rain gauges, but even higher reported elsewhere, up to 80 millimetres reported by some people. And yeah, you can really see the smallest area of the highest rainfall in the east of the county, and also a lot of differences across the map, really. Some stations recording quite a lot of rainfall, whereas stations close by to that not recording so much, kind of highlighting the showery nature of that rain that we saw on Sunday as well. But yes, the highest totals in the eastern parts, and this is where most of the damage was done. As you can see, quite a lot of impacts. This photo taken on the A47 on Sunday as the road was flooded, showing we had quite a lot of rain in that region, even impacting the major roads. So definitely something to watch out for. A good thing to have on this event is WQRadar, an excellent little app for your phone or your laptop computer. You can watch the rainfall radar across the UK, but you can also have a look at weather observations as well. And another handy feature is the lightning alerts, so you can get an email whenever lightning arrives in your area. So go to wqradar.co.uk to find out more. Now let's have a look at the forecast over the coming week. This is the jet stream, those red colours indicating really strong winds quite high up in the atmosphere. Let's just take a look how that looks over the coming days. So continuing to sort of pile into the UK from the west, quite strong winds, as you can see, keeping going, pushing our low pressure systems into the UK, which is what's bringing us so much unsettled weather. And as always with such a strong jet stream, this creates quite a lot of uncertainty in the forecast, quite a lot of differences in the timings of rainfall events, just because those winds are so strong up there. Now let's take a look at the situation today. So we've currently got low pressure to the northwest of the UK, and this is creating quite showery conditions on Tuesday. So as I play that through, you can see showers across much of the UK, not as widespread as the map suggests, more sort of scattered showers type of weather. You can also see those isobars so close together, indicating that it's quite a breezy day as well, with the potential for some more organised bands of showers, potentially heavy and thundery in the afternoon as well. As we go on to Wednesday, that low pressure still lingers to the north of the UK. Those isobars still fairly tight together, creating quite a breezy day, and another showery day is expected on Wednesday. However, those showers not looking as frequent, more isolated in nature, and also lighter, not necessarily as thundery as well. So some places may stay dry on Wednesday. And into Thursday, we've still got low pressure hanging around to the north. It does look like it will clear towards the east. We've got similar sort of showery conditions expected on Thursday, but also some longer spells of rain possible. So as we have a look at that, we've got one low pressure system clearing and another one coming in, bringing us these longer spells of rain that you can see across southern parts. And now further on into the weekend, this is now the low pressure that will be in control of our conditions for the rest of the weekend. And you can see plenty of rain across the map. Isobars still quite close together, so still fairly breezy. And you can see all this area of rain heading right out into the Atlantic, so suggesting we'll have some quite long spells of rain with the sort of waving cold front that we've got going down here over the weekend, as you can see as that goes through into motion. Lots of rain, quite persistent at times, expected in the south, whereas further north and west, closer to the centre of the low, conditions will be more showery in nature. Now let's have a look at what we're expecting for the water gain. So this is an ensemble. This is where a model is run 50 different times with slightly different starting conditions, just to get a spread of the sort of results that we're expecting in the forecast. So this is for Carlisle, and this is just sort of showing that in the start of the week, when we've got those showery conditions around, not huge totals of rain expected, as with the hit and miss nature of showers, but as we head towards the weekend with the next area of low pressure coming in, more persistent rain is expected. So you can see those totals climbing there. The average around 60 millimetres of rain expected in some parts, so quite a significant amount of rain, although some members going for much lower, 30 millimetres, and the odd one or two going up to 90 millimetres. So quite a spread in the results. Now let's have a look further south and east. So for Norwich, again at the start of the week, a period of more settled weather with those showers, so not great totals expected, and this hanging on a little longer down the southeast as well, with potentially even a little bit of water loss, so evaporation higher than any precipitation that we're expecting. But again, as we head towards the weekend with those longer spells of rain coming, those totals pick up a little bit. So we're seeing on average around 10 millimetres possible, but some models going for a lot more, and also some models going for a lot less. So there is the potential that we could be in a water loss by the end of the forecast period. So that is something to keep an eye on. And this is the rainfall for Norwich as well, just sort of highlighting further that sort of rain that we've got coming up towards the weekend. As you can see at the start of the week with those showery conditions, not great totals expected, but towards the weekend really sort of picking up, and quite unsettled as we go into the rest of the week. Lots of models with different ideas, some totals up to sort of 22 millimetres possible, so quite a lot of difference expected there. So the unsettled theme tending to continue, and yes, it does look like more rain, unfortunately. So let's have a look at the monthly charts. This is into week 2. So let's have a look. We've got a lower than average pressure over sort of northern parts of Britain and Scandinavia. So that's suggesting the real unsettled conditions that we're seeing at the moment. So quite wet weather expected, whereas we've got higher than average pressure to the south, tending to keep things drier, which you can see on the precipitation anomaly as well, with the brown colours indicating the dry conditions, but the green colours, particularly lots of green colours across Western Britain, showing a much wetter than average week is expected. And with those temperatures, with our southwesterly flow, we're kind of pulling up warm air from the south. So it does look like across the UK, temperatures will be close to or slightly above average. And across much of Europe, temperatures will be higher than normal, with only a few places in the far north seeing lower than average temperatures. Looking towards week 3, similar kind of story. We've still got lower pressure hanging out to the north and sort of higher pressure to the south, but the lower pressure is tending to sort of move eastwards. And now what will this do to the rainfall? So we've still got a signal for wetter than average conditions in the north and drier than average conditions in the south. However, the difference is not so marked. It's not as strong into week 3. So you might expect a little bit of relent from that rain that we're seeing towards week 3. Those temperatures still hanging on in there, still fairly warm, well, relatively warm, with higher than average temperatures across much of Europe and into the UK as well. Now into week 4, a little bit of a change. We've got that lower than average pressure sort of slipping eastwards, whereas we've got higher than average pressure starting to build from the west. Now this could be a good sign for us. This could give us the dry weather that we've been after. So you can see the brown colours starting to renew over western parts of the map, and those green colours indicating the eastern parts will now be the sort of wetter than average area across Europe. And those temperatures still lingering in eastern parts, so still above average over there, but returning to slightly closer to normal over western parts, with only a few sort of areas of higher than average temperatures expected there. So to summarise, it looks like we'll have some showery conditions for the start of the week, though some longer spells of rain expected as we head towards the weekend. From kind of Thursday onwards, we're expecting to see a few longer spells of rain, and definitely wet as we head into the weekend. Further ahead, it does look to remain rather unsettled, and temperatures will be close to or slightly above average for the rest of October, really. Now, if you're looking for any dry weather, your best chance is towards the end of the month, so the end of October and beginning of November, where there is that signal for things to become slightly more settled. So as always, make sure you keep in touch with the forecast. If you've got any suggestions for our farming forecast, we'd love to hear them. Get in touch with us at info@weatherquest.co.uk or use the hashtag WQFarmingForecast. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, to give us a like, hit the subscribe button, and see us next time. Thanks so much for watching.